Yeah, look into the some basic Linux commands now. So we'll begin with traversing directories. You use uh, you use the change uh, directory command, that cd, change directory command, to move your shell session to another directory in the Linux file system. The cd command syntax is pretty simplistic. It's cd space and then destination, basically an argument. Cd is the command and then space and then argument. So the cd command may take a single parameter, a destination, which specifies the directory name you want to go to. If you don't specify a destination on the cd command, it takes you to your home directory. So let's test it with the example. So we'll log into this, uh, into Ubuntu. mm, I think it doesn't work. So let's get into WSL. So here it is. Yeah, I'll keep it this way and quit it. Let me clear the screen first. Yeah, now cd is our command and then destination. So before that, we'll check cd. Then for cd, that's it. If you don't give any argument, cd and space and enter, it will take you to the home directory. That's it. It's a root and it is in its home directory. That's what happens. Now the destination, just a minute. Yeah, the destination parameter can be expressed using two different methods. One method is using an absolute directory reference. The other method uses a relative directory reference. So now you can clearly see the absolute directory reference on your screen. So you can, in absolute directory references, you can reference a directory name within the virtual directory system using an absolute directory reference. The absolute directory reference defines exactly where the directory is in the virtual directory structure, starting at the root. Think of the absolute directory reference as the full name for a directory. So with the absolute directory reference, there is no doubt as to exactly where you want to go. To move to a specific location in the file system using the absolute directory reference, you just specify the full path name in the cd command. So if you just want to check it, so again, let's go to the WSL. So here I am, yeah, we are in home directory of the root user. So let me enter into the virtual root virtual directory. Now you can see, so in a root virtual directory, all those things are there. Now for example, if I want to move to uh, into user, so user, or for example into etc, and then to find passwd. So there are two ways. One is, now of course I am in root directory, root virtual directory. So if I use absolute, what I have to do is I have to take the complete path. So cd and then forward slash all absolute directory absolute directory reference starts with the forward slash that refers that represents the root virtual directory. Then I give etc. See, so now I'm in the etc. Now if I want to go to mm, temp directory, tmp temp directory, I have only two options. Either I get back to the root virtual directory and go, or from here I can use absolute directory and go. Directly I'm giving the full address of that. So cd and tmp. That's it. That's how you can use the complete absolute path to enter. That's called absolute directory reference. Whereas, so here you can see, if you note that point, the tilde. So notice in the preceding example that the prompt originally had a tilde in it. So after the change to a new directory occurred, the tilde was replaced by user bin. This point I have explained it earlier, but I just want to uh, repeat it one more time so that it will be clear. So the tilde will has become the tilde has become changed into the forward slash tmp. So the absolute this happens because after the change to a new directory occurred, the tilde was replaced by forward slash tmp. This is where a CLI prompt can help you keep track of where you are in the home directory or virtual directory structure. The tilde indicates that your shell session is located in your home directory. Your shell session is located in the home directory. After you move out of your home directory, the absolute directory reference is shown in the prompt, if the prompt has been configured to do so. So then let's take one more example. That's the pwd command. And after that, you have one more thing, that's uh, a relative. Next, using relative directory references. So the same thing we can do. This is what we have mentioned is absolute directory reference. You can do the same uh, with the relative directory references. So this relative directory reference allows us, here what we do is a relative directory reference allow you to specify a destination directory reference relative to your current location. A relative directory reference does not start with a forward slash. This is the main distinction. So for example, let's get into that WSL first. So now I'm in temp. Okay, yes, yeah, I'm inside the temp. Now um, I have to go to the SRV, or I have to go to the bin. So how can I do that without using absolute directory? The first option is, so you have to get it. You have to get back to the root user from here, from here to root virtual directory. For the click on forward slash. Then let me check what all are there. Here I can find the bin or etc or home, everything. So I'll go to the home from here without giving forward slash, okay. See, here I have three users. Again, without mentioning the complete absolute path, I am just writing only the directory name. So see, this is how you can use a relative directory uh, reference to navigate through your folders in your Linux system. So uh, let's do a few exercises before going into the um, another before going to the few more points. So let's clear it off everything and WSL, yeah, let me clear it. Okay, so now let's type who am I. So I'm a root user, and then pwd is the command to find where you are, to locate you, to it's like Google to find out where is your location. So I am inside the uh, home and then Charan directory. So then let me check what all files it has. It has nothing, no files in it, it's completely empty. So now I just want to read, I want to use I want to read a file which is inside the etc. So I want to see OS, what OS it consists of. For that I want to use absolute directory reference, absolute directory reference. So cat absolute starts with the forward slash and then it is an etc and then OS release. So this is what, this is how you can use absolute directory reference for most of the purposes. So pretty name Ubuntu 22.04.1 LTS and then version, and this is all about the voice release of the voice release file consists of. So of course I'm a root user. Still, if you are not, you can just do the sudo I to become a root user. Okay. mm, Now let's clear it up everything. So before before we do few more exercises, let's look into few more commands and few more arguments here. So the next thing for us is dot, the two special characters used for relative directory references. These are not used in absolute directory reference. Why? Because absolute directory reference, you give the full address, full location where you are or where you have to go or what you have to read there. So that's the reason. Whereas in a relative, it's relative to your location you are moving. It's a relative, it's not absolute. You are relatively moving from, you need a base and based on that base you are moving. So that's the reason we have some special characters to use. The first one you can use um, first one is dot, a single dot, the single dot to represent the current directory, whereas double dot to represent the parent directory. So let's move this here, and then where I am now, I am inside the root, I am a root now. So I'll, from here I'll use only, so now I want to get into I want to get into TMP directory. How can I do? Oh no, I want to get into Charan directory. So for that I have to get back to the root virtual directory. So without giving a name of the root, if you want to get, if you want to uh, go up a step, then cd space dot. So now you see where I'm a root user. So cd and then double dot. If you give a double dot, it will take you to the parent directory. So now you're in the root virtual directory. From here you have to enter into the home, so that that's where you can find your, see here you have Charan, so cd Charan. So this is how you use double dot and single dot to move across. cd and then put single dot, it will not it will keep you in the same directory. It won't move you into another directory, because this dot, single dot and double dot will use for the copy paste, this kind of purpose. And then we will look into the display listing, basic display listing. So here, listing files and directories. To see what files are available on the system, use the list command, ls. Use the list command, ls. This section describes the ls command and options available to format the information it can display. Okay, so now display a basic listing, the simple one. So notice that ls command produces the listing in alphabetical order. If you are using a terminal emulator that supports color, this the ls command may also show different types of entries in different colors. The ls colors environment variable controls this feature. And the basic ls command can be somewhat misleading. It shows the files and directories contained in the current directory, but not necessarily all of them. So Linux often uses hidden files to store configuration information. In Linux, hidden files are files with file names starting with a period, dot. So these files don't appear in the default ls listing, thus they are called hidden files. Now the capital R parameter or option is another option that is that ls command can use, called the recursive option. It shows files that are contained within subdirectories in the current directory. If you have lots of subdirectories, this can be quite a long listing. So here is a simple example what the R parameter produces. The F option was tagged onto the help you see the files. So let's uh, let's get into the cd using absolute directory to tmp. Okay, so now ls, so this emulator has a color, so that's the reason it has differentiated the files and then other directories. So if I give ls hyphen a, it will show hidden files also. That hidden files were shown in the green color, you can see the dot also. Now when I use ls R capital, so it's a recursive. Even the files which are inside those directories are also being visible very clearly. So that's how these parameters, that's how these options help us a lot. And finally what we have is a long listing. So in the basic listings, the ls command doesn't produce much information about each file. For listing additional information, another popular parameter is L. The L parameter produces long listing format, providing more information about each file in the directory. The first line in the output shows the total number of blocks contained within the directory. After that, each line contains the following information about each file or directory. So let's use ls and then only l, the long list, and see what's going to happen. This is what is going to happen when you use a option. The file type, the first thing, the file type, such as a directory d. If it starts with d, it's a directory. If it is a file, it will starts with hyphen. So these are the files. File 3.txt is a file, that's why it has been started with the hyphen. Whereas tmp hyphen 5603 is a directory, it started with the d. And if it is a linked file, it will be started with the l, and character device c or block device b. then after that what we have after this first character, after that what we have is uh, the file permissions. After that the number of hard links. Here these are the number of this one is number of hard links. Then the owner username, this is the owner username, root user is the owner of this. And after that the file primary group name, so this root user belongs to this root group. And after that the size of the file, and then month and year, and finally the last time when the file was modified. This is the time, the last time when the file was modified, and then the file name. These are the information will be given by one option that's called long listing option. This is very beneficial, so don't forget that you can also combine many of these parameters, many of these options together. You can often find a parameter combination or option combination that not only displays a desired output, but also is easy to remember, such as let's take up this thing, ls l capital R T and F. See everything. Okay, everything. I have to make it bigger. You can see clearly. So you have three directories, and then these are hidden. So you got the complete information, this directories, and then everything. So this is how you can combine the options together too. So let's do the few more exercises. Let me clear it off completely. Let me clear it off, and let's begin. So for this exercise now, um, let us use CD and PW to navigate across our Ubuntu universe. So let's begin with who am I? I'm a root user in this, and then PWD, the present working directory, then ls command to get the listing or list of the files that are present in that present working directory. Then what we have, will use absolute directory reference to enter into bin. So bin consists of plenty of utilities. You can clearly see these are binary files. And after that let's clear it off, and then let's move to etc or sbin. It's just, I just want you to follow with me, and then just navigate across the Ubuntu system. So let's sbin. Sorry, that's my bad, sorry. So let me check. So these are the utilities that are present inside the sbin. Then let me clear the screen. Then after that I will go to the etc cd. All are for all commands. I'm using absolute directory reference. Let me see. There are a lot of files in even in etc also. So let me clear this screen again, and then this time I will go to the I'll directly use a absolute directory reference, and I want to read the host name of this file. Of course you can see the host name, but still I just want to check for that. etc and then host name. That's it. That's how uh, the same activity, the activity here is to uh, find out uh, the host name. So for us there are two options. The first option is using absolute directory reference. So for this I'll use cat etc and then hostname. That's it, the game over. And the second option is um, relative directory reference. So here what I have to do is cd, and then where I am first I have to check. So I'm in etc. Fantastic. So in that case let me Yeah, I mean etc anyway, that's okay. So here I can see the host name here, so I'll just cat host name, that's it. This is another way of doing the same activity. So let me clear it off the screen, let me clear off the screen first, and then cd temp, this is absolute a reference, there are a lot of files in it. Now let me go to the boot, and then okay, and boot. So now similarly, uh, I just want to see the grub file which is there in boot. Okay, so yes, okay, here in this file boot is completely empty. So now we will enter into the proc cd proc. So there are a lot of files in it, key users, logs are very important, modules, mounts, c groups, stats, swaps, uptime, version, and all of stuff. So let's ls, and let's clear it, and then type uptime. So when you type uptime, this will give you the uptime of your system for what time it has been up, and how many users that are using, average load, and then all details it's going to send. So now if you want to read that binary file of the uptime, so then proc and then uptime. So this is what you got it after doing the concatenation of the uptime file, using that. Then you can use free and then m icon, so it will give you memory, about your memory. So how much is available and how much is used and how much is free and how much is shared, both memory and then swap memory. So both you'll get the free and then option m, so you'll get the memory. So clear it off. Then, and final thing is, I just want you to, one more time, I just want you to focus on seeking help from your Linux system, because that's very important. So how would you do that? Man and then command name. So it will give you complete information. Just go through it and then find out the what all options are beneficial for what kind of function. So you get it everything. So based on that, you can use it. So I will write different options. Okay, where proc, where in proc ls, yeah, this is how you get it. Ls option l, long list, you'll get it. Ls option r, this is a reverse direction, you'll get it. Ls time t, it will be sorted based on time. Ls lrt, with the combination of three options.